Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I heartily welcome you to the 117th inaugural lecture of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, titled Securing the World in Digital Age, the Metaphor of an Unending Game, to be delivered by a Professor of Information and Cybersecurity, Professor Boniface Kayode Aleshe. I feel honored to warmly welcome the spiritual and traditional leaders, top government functionaries, captains of industry, friends of the university, and the entire staff and students of our university to this epoch-making event. I heartily welcome the immediate and extended family members, friends, and well-wishers of the inaugural lecturer. I particularly congratulate and rejoice with my friend and senior pastor, the inaugural lecturer of today, Professor Boniface Kayode Aleshe. Kayode was born in Ilawe, Ekiti on the 24th December 1969. He attended St. Mary's Catholic Primary School, Ilawe, Ekiti, between October 1976 and July 1982. He thereafter proceeded to Corpus Christi College, Ilawe, Ekiti, from October 1982 to December 1987 for his secondary school education, and attended Ondo State College of Education, Ikere, Ekiti, for his National Certificate of Education, which he obtained in 1990. He gained admission to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, where he obtained B.Tech Industrial Mathematics with second class upper division in 1997. In the year 2000, he got a CGPA of 4.5 on a 5-point grading system for his MTech Computer Science. And he bagged his PhD in Computer Science in year 2004. Kayode joined the service of the Federal University of Technology, Akure on the 13th November 1998 as a graduate assistant in the Department of Industrial Mathematics and Computer Science. He rose through the ranks to the position of professor on 1st of October. He has also served as mentor to students and young staff members in his department. Professor Boniface Kayode Aleshe has won many awards. When he was a student at the undergraduate level, he was on the dean's list consecutively for 3 academic sessions. At the undergraduate level, he also won the National Mathematical Center Scholarship from 1993 to 1996. As a member of staff, he has also received many awards. He got letters of commendation on 10 separate occasions from the university management. Well, these include Vice Chancellor's Excellence Award for Productivity in year 2010, Vice Chancellor's Special Recognition Award 2011, Vice Chancellor's Special Recognition Award for Mentorship and Training 2012. Professor Aleshe served as the team mentor for Team NATS Footer, the winners of 2011 Microsoft Imagine Core competition. That team also represented the country in the United States of America the same year, and of course they got good awards at that competition. Professor Aleshe has also won awards from various organizations and student bodies. Professor Aleshe has contributed immensely to the body of knowledge in his area of specialization. He has authored and co-authored 3 books. He has supervised 50 master's dissertations as major supervisor, 37 as co-supervisor, and also supervised 18 doctoral theses as major supervisor, while he served as co-supervisor on 27 panels for PhD. Aleshe, professor of cybersecurity, has over 200 publications in mainstream journals. He has attended over 35 national and international conferences where he presented papers. On one of the occasions where he attended a conference in the United States of America, his paper, where he was the lead author, was adjudged the best out of 1,236 presentations at the Conference of International Internet Technology and Secure Transaction, which was held in London in 2013. He also attracted merit awards for 2 other conference presentations at the United States of America and United Kingdom. I thought we'll give him a round of applause for that. Professor Aleshe has served as chairman or member of several departmental, school, and university committees at different times. These include chairman, Student Welfare Board, 2011 to 2017, chairman, Computer-Based Examination Committee, 2011 to 2017, chairman, Business Committee of School of Sciences, chairman, Electoral Committee, Student Union, 2008-2011, and many other committees. He has also held administrative positions such as Dean, Student Affairs, 2015 to 2017, Acting Dean, Student Affairs, 2011 to 2015, Acting Head of Department of Computer Science, 2009 to 2011, Associate Director, Entrepreneurship Program, SEGIS, he worked with women. I think that was in 2010. Assistant Director, PGD Program, 2005 to 2007. He was also appointed as the chair, first bank professorial chair in computer science. He held that position for 4 years. Professor Aleshe has successfully participated in national assignment. He is a member of the National University Commission Accreditation Panel. He has visited many universities on this account. He also served on the NUC committee that drafted the BMAS program for cybersecurity and information technology. He is a member of the following professional bodies: Nigerian Computer Society, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, New York, Association of Computer Machinery, New York, Informatics Society, United Kingdom, Computer Professionals of Nigeria, Cybersecurity Expert Association, Nigeria, and System Security Association, Virginia, United States. Professor Aleshe has attracted equipment worth millions of naira to the university from Intel Corporation, United States, an essential company that is based in Lagos. He has undergone various professional and administrative trainings in Singapore, South Africa, United Kingdom, and United States of America. Professor Aleshe has served as a external examiner to many institutions of higher learning, including the College of Education in Ikere-Ekiti, Federal Polytechnic, Ida, University of Jos, Federal University of Technology, Minna, Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, and the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Professor Aleshe is not just an academic, he is an ordained priest of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He is married and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome to the podium Professor Boniface Kayode Aleshe as he delivers the 117th inaugural lecture of the Federal University of Technology titled Securing the World of Digital Age, the Metaphor of Unending Gain.
The Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Development, Registrar, other principal officers of the university, deans, directors, and heads of departments, professors and members of Senate, other academic and professional colleagues, my Lord, spiritual and temporal, distinguished guests and friends of the university, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, great Futarians. Dim D.O. Hardy, the CEO of Talk London, said, and I quote, "We have to keep building our security walls higher and higher because these cyber criminals are building longer and longer ladders. It is with great pleasure, honor, and favor and sincere gratitude to the Almighty God that I stand to deliver the 117th inaugural lecture of this great university and the first in the fastest growing school of computing, and also first to be delivered by the alumnus of the defunct Industrial Math and Computer Science Department. Also, it is the fourth in the discipline of computing in the university." Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the coming of computer has been a blessing to human generation. However, the excitement that came along with the technology has started to cause worries in the society as a result of security challenges in the last few decades. The digital age has made the world to become a global village made up of nations without borders. The phase of application of computers are various and new applications are being searched out. The scientists apply it to the prediction of weather, earthquakes, storms, control of satellites, and control of atomic reactions and elsewhere. Engineers use computers in designing cars, airplanes, ships, buildings, bridges, tools, and so on. In the business world, computers are being used for work processing, record keeping, inventory control, patrol processing, account keeping, auditing, stock marketing, ticketing reservation. Manufacturing concerns use them in forecasting material requirements, inventory management, production scheduling, control, and other processes. Banks now use them to keep records of day-to-day transactions, keeping accounts and managing overall investment. Computers have been placed in the hands of customers. This provides facility of making withdrawals at odd hours. Financial houses take the help of computers to make credit cards medium effective. For entertainment purposes, computers are now used to play complex intelligent quotient and simulation games. There also exists idea that computer is an intelligent brain that people can rely on through the subject of artificial intelligence. Also, in this era where science and technology is becoming more and more advanced, computers make the role of books in storage and dissemination of knowledge to the public. Matters such as student registration, class scheduling, processing of examination results, students and teachers' personal storage can be implemented by computer with fast and effective communication. Application of computer-based equipment or use of information technology have also helped doctors to diagnose disease. Microprocessor-based voice system assist people with disabilities speaking with terminal that directs computer to perform a verbal task. Similarly, the development of computers has helped the blind to see, the deaf to communicate, whether with the help of speech synthesizer or using the keyboard. Similarly, in the military, computer can be used to store inventory and carry out war simulation on the screen. The progressive use of computers over the years has placed the daily living of man in the hands of information technology. Our critical infrastructures like water, transportation, electricity, health, weapons of warfare are today leveraged on information technology. This has also come with attendant challenges such as security and privacy. From smart world to smart city to smart nation to smart world. It started with smart homes, which later metamorphosed to smart city. Home appliances are now being automated and internet enabled, and almost everything is remotely controlled. You can control your energy, refrigerator, and other home appliances from anywhere in the world. The coming of smart cities and by extension smart nation leading to smart world has changed the narrative of human existence. From connected individuals to connected cities to connected world. The whole world is driven by information technology. However, the above issue and the other progression in information technology related issues have thrown up two challenges which are related and at times contradictory. These are security and privacy. These issues have become burning issues in the information technology era and will continue to occupy greater dimension in years to come. The security question. The security question at individual, organizational, national, global level is to know whether information technology has enhanced or jeopardized security at this level. In attempting to answer this question, information technology has really changed the narrative of security both at individual and corporate level, to the extent that the corporate security of the entire world is now dependent on information technology. This is evidenced in the words of the former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, who says, "The prosperity of America in this century will depend on cybersecurity." Extendedly, the world and its security will now completely in on new security measures and will determine a lot of things in the global scheme. According to Alesha 2014, security issues have been revolutionized by the coming of information technology. Over the years, there have been dynamism in information security. The issue of cybersecurity. The definition of cybersecurity is often confused with information security. Information security looks to protect all the information assets, whether as hard copy or in digital form, while cybersecurity is the practice of protecting information and data from outside sources of the internet. The analogies of information and cybersecurity are presented in Figure 5. Why is cybersecurity important? The cost of cybercrime is all-time high, and incidents can easily take months to be discovered, often by third parties. Cyber attacks continue to grow in sophistication, with attackers using and expanding a variety of tactics, including social engineering, malware, and ransomware. Usually, cyber attackers seek more time to benefit and will invest in various techniques, tools, and technology to achieve their motive. Financial gain is a common motivation, but they may also be driven by political, ethical, intellectual, or social incentives. New regulations and reporting requirements make cybersecurity risk oversight a challenge. The subject of security. Security can be defined as a degree of resistance or protection from harm. It applies to both vulnerable and valuable assets, such as persons, dwellings, communities, nations, organizations. Security is one of the most important basic needs of human existence is human creation. It is also a statement of fact that security dynamics have evolved over the years. And despite the fact that many wars are still being fought in the physical and with physical weapons, there are quite many more being fought on information superhighway with digital facilities. Perceived security compared to real security. Perception of security may be poorly mapped to measurable objective security. For example, the fear of earthquakes has been reported to be more than that of the fear of sleeping in the bathroom floor, although the latter kills more than the former. Similarly, the perceived effectiveness of security measures is sometimes different from the actual security provided by those measures. The presence of security protection may even be taken for security itself. For example, two computer security programs could be interfering with each other and even cancel each other's effect, while the owner believes he's getting double protection. These are pertinent issues in today's security system. Evolution of security measures. According to Alesha 2014, the timeline of security measures going back to several decades shows that security has adapted to threats as they arose. But while the threats have changed over the time, checkpointing security has not kept pace with, and passengers have become passive subjects in the process rather than active engaged partners. The evolution of information technology has led to paradigm shift in securing people, organizations, and nations using technology. We have the evolution from the Stone Age to gadgets to moths to the Industrial Revolution and to missiles. I give examples of major security breaches in the information technology era. Security issues are becoming of concern due to astronomical dynamics in information technology, which has led to dynamism in information security, making it look more or less like a game. Computer systems have become more prone to attack, which compromise the integrity and the confidentiality of information stored on the computer system. In 23 financial crimes committed between 1996 and 2002, 87% were accomplished without a sophisticated programming. Tim Lloyd, a computer system administrator, was fired for being threatening and disruptive. In retaliation, Lloyd planted a logic bomb or critical server. When present condition occurred, the logic bomb destroyed the program that ran the company's manufacturing machine. Lloyd also took home and erased the backup tape to prevent recovery. Lloyd's sabotage resulted in $10 million in the immediate business loss, $2 million in the programming cost, and 80 layoffs. The attack led to the permanent loss of the company's competitive status in high-tech instruments and measurement market because the company could not reveal the proprietary software it had been using. Also, two traffic engineers working in the city of Los Angeles pleaded guilty to hacking the city's traffic center and disconnecting traffic signals at 4 Los Angeles busiest intersections. They then locked out the control to this intersection so that it took 4 days to restore control. They did this few hours before their union scheduled job action against the city in support of contract negotiations. Two account clerks with Cisco system illegally accessed the corporate computer to issue themselves $8 million worth of Cisco score. In another case, Quintin Sabatia, 31, used a computer to embezzle more than $875,000 from the North Bay Center Group. A former account payable clerk at North Bay accessed the firm account software and issued 127 checks payable to herself and others. To conceal the fraud, he ordered the electronic register to make it appear that the check had been payable at North Bay vendor. A former DuPont research scientist admitted downloading trade history worth $400 million only when he announced his decision to leave was his downloading behavior analyzed. This analysis found out he had downloaded 60,700 documents, 15 times more than the second highest downloader. Washington Long left the firm and later logged into the firm server using the powers given to him while employed there. He deleted over 900 files related to the company. To frame up a growth worker, he gave her $40,000 annual rise and $100,000 bonus. He created a Hotmail account in the name of the female employee and sent a senior manager an email containing the information from the delivery file. On January 25, 2003, Slammer worm exploded across the internet. In 10 minutes, before an handful of people could knew it existed, Slammer had infected 90% of vulnerable computers on the entire internet. Although Slammer did not erase the hard disk of and do other damage, it caused massive damage by spreading so quickly that it choked part of the internet. Around the world, ATMs became unusable. Police departments lost their ability to communicate, and most users in Korea lost their service. In 2004, the Aberdeen Group surveyed 162 companies. They found that each lost an average of $2 million per virus or worm incident and spent additional $100,000 to clean up the computers after the attack. Both numbers increased with the company size. Ways of perpetrating cybercrime. There are literally dozens of ways cybercrime can be perpetrated. Some of these are itemized below. Hacking. In simple words, hacking is an act committed by an intruder by accessing computer system without your permission. Hackers are basically computer programmers who have advanced knowledge of computers and commonly misuse the knowledge for devious reasons. Virus dissemination. Viruses are computer programs that attach themselves to or infect computer files and have tendency to circulate to other computers on the network. They disrupt the computer operation and affect data stored, either by modifying or deleting it altogether. Worms, unlike viruses, do not need a host to operate. Logging bomb. The logging bomb, also known as Slack code, is a malicious code in which it is essentially inserted into software to execute malicious tasks, which when triggered off. It is not a virus, although it behaves like a virus. Denial of service attack. A denial of service attack is an explicit attempt by attackers to deny service to the intended user. It involves flooding the computer resource with more requests than it can handle and consuming an available bandwidth, which results in server overload. This causes the result to crash or to slow down significantly so that nobody can access it. Phishing. This is a technique of extracting confidential information such as credit card numbers and user passwords and combos by masquerading as legitimate users. Email bombing. Email bombing is characterized by an abuser sending huge volumes of email to a target address, resulting in victims' email accounts or mail server crashing. Webjacking. Webjacking is derived from hijacking. Here, the hacker takes control of website fraudulently. You may change the content of the original site or redirect it to a fake similar-looking page. The owner of the website has no more control and the attacker may use it for selfish reasons. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is a new form of internet crime in our society. When a person is followed and pursued online, a cyberstalker does not physically need to follow his victim. He does it by following up the online activities and affects information about the stalkee and harassing him or her, making threats using verbal intimidation. It is an invasion of one's online privacy. Most victims of these crimes are women who are stalked by men or children who are stalked by adult predators and pedophiles. Salami slicing attack. A salami slicing attack or salami fraud is a technique by which cyber criminals steal money or resources a bit at a time so that there is no noticeable difference in the overall size. The perpetrator gets away with these little pieces from a large number of resources and thus accumulate a considerable amount over a period of time. Software piracy. Internet piracy is an integral part of our life, which we all contribute to knowingly or unknowingly. Software piracy is an authorized use and distribution of software. Software developers work hard to develop their program, and piracy curbs the ability to generate enough revenue to sustain such applications. Some major areas in the field of cybersecurity are my contributions to research. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. I started working in the area of information and cybersecurity in 1998 under the able supervision of Professor S.O. Falaki. Alice 2000 did a thorough vulnerability analysis of encryption and decryption technique using standard metrics such as size and speed. I came up with the conclusion that there are so many factors deciding encryption and decryption technique to use under particular circumstances. This particular output of research has been confirmed in today's larger security discipline, going by the trends and researches in the field. Cryptography. The history of cryptography began thousands of years ago. Until recent decades, it has been a story of what might be called classic cryptography. This is a method of encryption that uses pen and paper or perhaps mechanical aids. The earliest known cryptography is found in non-standard hieroglyphs carved out in into monuments from old Egypt's kingdom. The Skyte era. The ancient Greek, the Spartans in particular, said to have used silver to communicate around during the military campaign. Sender and recipient each had a cylinder called a Skyte of exactly the same radius. The sender ran a narrow ribbon of parchment around the cylinder and wrote 13 lengthwise. After the ribbon is unwound, the writing could only be read by the person who had a cylinder of exactly the same circumference. Table 2 gives example of Skyte encryption. Greek and Roman use of cryptography. The Greek and the classical time are said to have known cryptography as a system of military communication. The Caesar cipher is an example of what is called the ship cipher. To encode the message, letter are replaced with a letter that is distinct from another letter beyond your current letter. Figure 20 depicts an example of Caesar cipher. Cryptography from Muslim history. Al-Qaeda wrote a book in 850 CE. The first page of Qaeda manuscript on deciphering cryptography contains the oldest known encryption of cryptanalysis by frequency analysis. He was a pioneer in cryptanalysis and cryptography and devised new methods of breaking cipher, including frequency analysis. Cryptography in the Renaissance period. In Europe, cryptography became more important as a consequence of political competition and religious revolution. For instance, in Europe, during and after the Renaissance, citizens of various Italian states, the Papal States, and Roman Catholic Church included, were responsible for rapid proliferation of cryptography techniques. Outside Europe, after the end of Muslim Golden Era, at the end of the Mongols, cryptography remained comparatively underdeveloped. Cryptography from 1800 to World War II. Although cryptography has a long and complex history, it was not until the 19th century that it developed anything more than the ad hoc approaches to either encryption or cryptanalysis. By World War II, mechanical and electronic machines, cipher machines were in use, although there were such machines where such machines were in practical, manual systems were in use. U.S. troops in the field make use of MO29 and M94 family machines. British agents used poem cipher using memorized poem as encryption decryption skill, but later started using one-time pad. Modern cryptography. Both cryptography and cryptanalysis have become far more mathematical since World War II. It has taken the wide availability of computers and internet as a communication medium to bring effective cryptography into common use by anyone other than either national government and similarly large enterprise. The first encryption standard saw two major public advances. First publication was the draft of encryption standard in the U.S. Register on the 17th March 1975. The proposed cipher was submitted by a research group at IBM at the invitation of National Bureau of Standards in an effort to develop a secure electronic communication facilities for business such as banks and other financial institutions. After the advice and modification by NSA, it was adopted and published as a Federal Information Processing Standard in 1977. The public key, the second development in 1976, was perhaps more important, for it fundamentally changed the way crypto system might work. This was a publication of the paper New Directions in Cryptography by Whitfield and Martin Hellman. It introduced radically new method of distributing keys, which went far towards solving the fundamental problem of cryptography and key distribution, and has become known as the Hellman PFK. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I vigorously engaged research in cryptography since I joined the services of the university, and it has been my core area of specialization. Alicia and Falaki 2000 developed a system of solving vulnerability issues in data encryption standard. Being one of the most popular earliest symmetric encryption algorithms, a concatenated DES was built as depicted in Figure 27. Due to the design of triple DES as an encrypt key process, it is possible to use triple DES implementation for single DES by setting K1, K2, K3 to be of the same value. Triple DES system are significantly more secure than the single DES, but these are clearly much slower process and using an encryption using DES, which makes it harder to be broken by proof of attack or cryptanalysis. However, it later became obvious that DES, irrespective of the number of iterations, could still be broken with more resources deployed. The research concluded that for stronger security, it was important to use multiple DES, although with attendant speed challenges. Olajide Eta 2008 carried out a cooperative analysis of reverse German Aduma, Rabin, and Egama crypto systems. The strengths and weaknesses of which were analyzed using standard metrics. At the end, it was concluded that all the three could be effective under different scenarios. A gamma crystal system could be more appropriate for the use of military and diplomatic corps for concealment of message. Rabin could be more deployed for commerce problems, while diarists, lovers, and academics may find RSA to be more appropriate. Alicia 2004 developed a variant of public key cryptography using elliptic curve mathematics. Roughly speaking, the elliptic curve is a set of points xy which satisfy the elliptic curve equation y raised to power 2 equals x raised to power 3 plus ax plus b modulo p, where x and y belongs to prime K. Table 4 gives analyzes the performance of elliptic curve cryptography as compared with other public key cryptography. Nwosu Eta 2015 developed an RSA-based approach to attribute security systems. In the research, the APS was constructed using groups of bilinear pairing with powerful features that can be readily used in multi-authority settings. The developed system overcomes the shortcomings of other schemes in the standard model. The scheme was compared with earlier constructed schemes to verify its performance. It was discovered that the process vis-a-vis the signing, encryption, decryption, verification proved more efficient when compared with other existing systems using standard parameters. Along 2016 went ahead to apply elliptic curve cryptography to secure applications. The results compared with securing cloud applications using RSA. The experiment was carried out under different key sizes as shown in Table 5. A comparative analysis of encryption time of the public key cryptography is shown in Figure 29, while computational time complexity in Table 6. Elliptic curve cryptography provides a solution for secure cloud environment with improved performance in computing power and energy. This makes it more attractive for mobile applications. The coming of quantum computer. Quantum computing is the study of computers that use quantum features for calculation. For over 20 years, it has been known that if very large specialized quantum computer could be built, they could have a devastating effect on asymmetric classical cryptography algorithms as well as symmetric cryptography algorithms. Gabriel Eta 2013 developed a post-quantum cryptography system which is a combination of post-quantum cryptography and steganography. We have Bob wishes to send a message P to Alice. In order to do this, Bob first encrypts the message using multivariate quantum polynomial encryption algorithm to produce ciphertext F. He then chooses a cover image C. The steganographic algorithm identifies C redundant bit. Then the embedding process creates a stego image F by replacing this redundant bit with data from F. S is transmitted over a public channel and received by Alice if only when he has no suspicion on it. Once Alice receives F, she can get M through the extraction process. The embedding process represents a critical task for steganography system since S must be similar as much as possible in order to avoid Wendy's intervention. To the human eye, the resulting stego image will look exactly alike. Unfortunately, modifying the cover image changes its statistical properties, so eavesdroppers can detect distortion in the resulting stego image properties. The works make such an interesting contribution that it brings two major areas of privacy and confidentiality together. Gabriel Author 2019 developed a security system for electronic voting to address the security of electoral and post-electoral phases in electoral process, which is fundamental to secure the success of electronic voting system. Cryptography, which is a combination of cryptography and steganography, could be fitting key for enhancing security of sensitive election-related information transmitted over public networks, thereby ensuring free, fair, and credible election of electoral process. Most of existing systems using voting are based on public key cryptography, such as RSA, analytical cryptography, which security depends on difficulty of factoring, of solving integer factorization problem and discrete locality problem, respectively. The main purpose of this work was therefore to develop a cryptography electronic voting system framework that integrates cryptography and steganography in a two-step protocol. We compare the performance of our electronic voting security system with RSA and ECC-based ones in terms of computation time, size of their output, and their throughput. Experimental results show that our proposed secure e-voting system perform better on all grounds. Intrusion detection. Intrusion detection is another aspect of information security that has gained prominence over the years. It is about intrusion detection and prevention. But researchers have shown that intrusion prevention is almost impossible, while intrusion detection has attracted numerous researches. Figure 30 shows the growth of cyber attack from 2015 to 2018 through intrusion. Looking at this growth from 500 million in 2015 to 2 billion in 2018 is of a great concern. In figure 31, ransom damage cost was expected to rise to $11.5 billion in the year 2019, and victims are expected every 14 seconds, which calls for concern. Allegation 2006 examined the place of alert correlation in intrusion systems, which has to do with the issue of surveillance and intrusion detection. During the surveillance stage, the attacker attempts to learn as much as possible about his target and tries to discover vulnerable services as well as configuration errors. In the process of doing this, traces are left behind. These traces are referred to as alerts and are expected to be correlated in the process of intrusion detection. The different things to be correlated under this include identity, the start time, the end time, the original and target code, and finally, the sensor. This will allow proper categorization of alert to be done. Conclusively, intrusion detection is made easier by having a good alert system. Alessia and Falaki 2007 analyzed the dangers of malicious code such as code, bomb, trapdoors, Trojan horse, and viruses. Which include stealth virus, parasitic virus, and other forms of viruses. Others are worms and bacteria, such as bacteria, as well as how they can be converted through site, system, power, and backup. It was concluded that malicious code are on the increase, and this has not abated up to now. It was opined that their effects could be very devastating. Alade Shoseta developed an intrusion detection technique using hypothesis testing. The testing data was run on algorithm to generate rules. The performance of the hypothesis testing was tested with test data and also measured with confusion matrix with certain detection matrix. The research was also limited to network attack under the denial of service attack. The DOS data set with normal traffic extracted from KDD 99 data set contains 92,507 records. 89,409 were used as training data set, while 3,098 were used as test data. The performance of the hypothesis testing was measured based on results generated from the test data. The performance is shown in Table A, where 97.93 were correctly classified, 1.97 wrongly classified, 0.01 not classified at all. Total percentage of normal connections that were classified as attack was 10.72 and 0.2% of the normal connection was not classified. Onyeko Leta 2017 developed a preprocessing university web block services for intrusion detection. In this research, different stages of data processing were carried out on the web server log over a period of 5 months. The output of the research shows that each processing step, the data becomes clearer and more usable. Therefore, preprocessing web server log provides a standard processing platform for adequate research using web server log. This method is also useful in monitoring and studying web usage patterns in a particular domain. Although research covers web server logs obtained in a university domain and thus reveals the pattern of web services or web access within a university environment, it can also be applied to e-commerce and any other terrain. Olasende et al. 2018 developed a machine learning approach information security system. Name-based, KNN, and detection models were built with consistency feature selection, reduced data set. The models were evaluated using the testing data set. the result of our evaluation of the WMB15 data show that detection has the overall highest classification of 86.7%. Worms attack has the highest attack category classification accuracy with 3 models. Generic attack category has the highest classification with 0.97. Nail base 0.97 decision tree. Analysis attack has the lowest false alarm of 0.01. Akinwumeta 2013 developed network containment system using Markov chain approach. The self-satisfying is the core idea of vigilante system, which argues that one machine should not throw security alarm originating from another machine. Therefore, the SCA contains the necessary information to generate and verify alarm, which is also installed to prevent worm attack. The self-satisfying presents a language through which common system vulnerability can be defined, allowing for verification detector alert that ascends when a worm tries to run an invalid function. The verification of this essay presents an effective way of reducing false positives that can be created by vigilante system. Biometric security. The term biometric is derived from Greek, bio, life, and metric, mail. One of the oldest and most effective examples of characteristics that is used of recognition is the human face. This simple task has become increasingly more challenging as population increase. The concept of human-to-human recognition is also seen as behavioral predominant biometrics, such as speaker and gait recognition. We have the timeline of biometrics from 1858 through up to 2010. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I have highlighted the above to underscore the importance of biometric techniques are played in securing the world, most especially in developed nations. In contributing to biometric studies, Ali Shelter 2012 developed a biometric recognition system in which a person's signature was a model based on temporal and spatial metrics extracted from time nodal, such as the length of the torso, shin, and variations of angles of human limb, or the amplitude of person's walking pattern to create gait signature of individual, which was transformed to a self-similar matrix. The evaluation of the system was carried out with CMU Motion Body Database from Robotics Institute, Pittsburgh. The database consists of 25 subjects of performing 4 different walking patterns in a treadmill. All subjects were captured with 6 high-resolution color cameras, which were evenly distributed around the treadmill, which captured more than 8,000 images per subject. The sequences are 11 seconds long, recorded at 30 frames per second. The subject performed 4 different walking patterns: the slow walk, the fast walk, the incline walk, and walking with a ball. Akishon developed an infrared or palm-vein version of human authentication in which palm print and images are used as identification and authentication. An individual palm pattern image is captured by rotating his hand with near-infrared ray. The reflection method illuminates the palm using an infrared ray and capturing the light given off by the region after division through palm. After acquisition, its extraction of the region leads to official extraction. The crossing number of the ridge pixel P is given by equation 5. Future machine was done using digital signal processing approach as seen in equation 6. The FAR and FAR were calculated to validate results. The system can be used to access control, time attendance, hospital rooms, finance, and other banking solutions, schools, and login authentication. Yarieta 2016 developed a secure telemedical system using biometric feature of fingerprint to control patient data by medical practitioners. The system architecture has 3 levels of stations, activities, namely telemedicine capture stations, telemedicine server stations, telemedicine field stations. The mathematical model was developed for fingerprint segmentation and normalization, which are essential part of enhancement process as given in equations 7, 8, and 9. The system was able to successfully incorporate security into telemedicine by way of biometrics. Thompson et al. 2013 developed biometric verification using linear object technique that is able to take care of background noise and high cost of deployment in biometrics. The system was developed using curvature point of the nose alert. The curvature point of the nose alert are selected on the NASA feature using linear object class and triangulation technique. Our experiment was carried out with 100 data sets, and the resulting showed that 87% recognition. This shows that nose biometric, if well explored, could be valuable biometric space. Information security management. Mr. Vice Chancellor, at this juncture, I wish to say that the issue of cybersecurity is not limited only to technical. It equally has management aspects, which are times more important than the technical aspects. Hence, as a cybersecurity expert, I've made my modest contribution in this area. But the 2014 developed a Bayesian network model for risk management in a cyber situation, where Bayesian model is capable of distinguishing between bad connections called threats or attack and good ones known as normal connections. The model analyzed state of network traffic and determined risk using KDD 99 database. This model is better than the association rule because it shows more efficient performance and improved performance. Alicia 2014 work on evaluation of information security risks using hybrid assessment model. Two specific methods of interest are risk matrices and risk register. A generic register application module and an updatable risk matrix module were designed. What ifs are used to generate contained description of potential in the form of questions and responses and list recommendations for pretending problems. This work, if adopted, will help to keep track of basic sources of risk likely to hamper operations in information technology environment. Cyber security in Nigeria and Africa. According to an article written by Shilo and Fasasi in 2016, cybercrime cost the world economy the sum of $500 billion. This is more than the GDP of South Africa, $350 billion, and slightly less than that of Nigeria, $521 billion, the continent's largest economy. In this same report, it is estimated that cybercrime cost Nigerian economy $500 million annually. In 2017, there were 5 major top cybercrime. There were over 200,000 computers in 150 countries affected by WannaCry. 12,500 in 64 countries faced threats by Penta ransomware. WikiLeaks published a data trove containing 8,761 discounts stolen from CIA. She's speaking, discovered a publicly accessible database with personal information of 198 million US voters in 2017. Lastly, 2 days before France's presidential runoff, hackers dumped 9 gigabyte trove of leaked images, which were hacked from the party of Emmanuel Macron. Putting costs into all this in 2017. Malware costs over $2 million, web-based attack over $2 million, denial of service attack $1.5 million, malware insider $1.4 million, phishing and social engineering $1.2 million, malicious code $1.2 million, compressed and stolen devices $865,000, ransomware $500,000, botnets $350,000. Most vulnerable institutions include business targets 40%, medical and healthcare 35.4%, government and military 8%, educational institutions 7.1%. In terms of spending, $11.7 million is the average annualized cost of cybersecurity in 2017. And this has also been discovered. It has also been discovered that the costs have increased by 20.7 every year. The total security spending was $100 billion in 2017, and it is estimated that to hit $991 billion by the year 2021. It is equally estimated that cybersecurity costs in Sub-Saharan Africa is about $3 billion in the year 2017. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I've also made my modest contribution in solving some of these problems. Ali Shekhar in 2014 described the cybersecurity trinity measures in Nigeria to include prevention, detection, authentication, and response. In this research, the role of agencies in combating cybercrime were analyzed. These agencies are law enforcement agents, government, and individuals. Adu et al. 2014 proposed a way of mitigating cybercrime in Nigeria. The systems are enable internet users to be monitored in order to curb threats to social network in Nigeria was developed. This will divide the operation of internet service provider and provide access to internet users. And the National Communication Commission, a government body that oversees information technology system in Nigeria. A central database is proposed to be hosted by the National Communication Commission with users' activity logging feature. A user suspecting an associate on a social network can send a request to NCC to confirm if the person is dealing with online is not an impostor with a fake profile. We equally alleged some remedies of this threat and a range of solutions which aim to protect the online social network users' privacy and security. Adu et al. 2013 equally developed another software piracy prevention system in which client user purchases software but must connect to the server of the developer before installation. The user provides activation code through a mobile agent. The validity of the activation code is checked and the software user identity information is compared with some information on the database of the developer to ascertain authenticity and piracy. A mathematical model is adopted for measuring the effectiveness of the mobile agent migration of the network overload, which is expected to be normal. The design was made possible through the use of mobile agents. Akinyoku et al. 2014 examined the contributing indices to cybercrime in Nigeria using principal component analysis. Data obtained through survey was analyzed using PCA and can be expressed as shown in equation 14. The primary objective factor analysis by PCA to generate some cluster of contributing indices to cybercrime in Nigeria. Each cluster can constitute a factor which cybercrime indicators can be measured. The percentage contribution of each factor to the crime can equally be obtained. Results are presented in table level. Alishe et al. 2019 proposed a multi-level authentication system with an architecture which uniquely combines different authentication techniques used by many banks. The system requires that each user to register their accounts online, which is connected to their bank numbers generated by the bank. However, the online authentication system consists of mutual authentication, password authentication, operator challenge, and soft-token authentication, which enables secure communication between the user and the online bank server. The study proposes an approach towards providing a more reliable and complete solution for implementing multi-level user authentication in banking environment to stem cybercrime. The proposed architecture can easily be adapted and implemented by any online banking service provider in Nigeria in their existing security architecture, with the introduction of little modification to avoid high level of attack, and security architecture should be classified documentation which third parties should not be privy to. Information and cyber security, the game theoretic approach. Majority of the cyber security researchers, including yours sincerely, focus on either preventing specific vulnerability or proposing specific defense strategy algorithm to defend a well-defined attack. The dynamic nature of both the attackers and defenders in an intelligent environment has brought a lot of dynamism in attack, hence a corresponding dynamism in defense. This gaming war phenomenon now exists among cyber security incidents around the world, and this has necessitated the need for research on this special dimension of information and cyber security. Hence, for about a decade, I've made contributions in this area of research, which has gained international recognition. One of the researches published in papers delivered at International Conference of Internet Technology and Secure Transaction, which held in London in 2013. The paper was adjudged the best out of 1,236 submitted, 172 accepted for presentation from 96 countries around the world. Two other result presentations from this research focus have gotten meritorious award in both United States of America and United Kingdom. It equally has to be stated that my researches in this area have enjoyed tremendous support from the First Bank of Nigeria through the Bank Professorial Endowment Share in Computer Science. Game theory. Anytime we have a situation with two or more players that involves non-player uncountable consequences, we can use game theory to help determine the most likely outcome. We have some of the attacks in the game to include confidential attack, integrity attack, access control attack. And we have the defense mechanism to include cryptography system, firewall, intrusion detection system, and secure socket layer. Allegation 2014 proposed a deterministic security game system model aimed at constructing typical network and risk assessment framework, an attack defense model which quantifies probability of threat is formulated for risk assessment. In proposed model, the game played is a deterministic non-zero-sum payoff matrix game, with a win for one not necessarily implying a loss for the opponent. The expected output of the game is the probability of optimal mixed strategy defined by equations 24, 25, and 26. Ibidunmoye et al. 2013 developed a game theoretic modeling of computer security views, which views attack scenario as an optimization game comprising multiple players, notably attackers and defenders. This research work presents theoretically a two-player zero-sum stochastic game of interaction between malicious user and network administrator. And secondly, introduce hypothetical network of a typical scenario to show the applicability of our model within the scenario. Our solution involves reducing each state game into a minimization and maximization linear programming problem for both the defender and the attacker respectively. Game cost, rewards, and outcome are monitored to closely match real-world measurement. Aleshe et al. 2014 developed a game-based analysis of the network attack defense interaction. In this research, we presented a two-person zero-sum game model of interaction between malicious users and network administrators. A description of the major component of such game was presented, and solution techniques solving the game scenario was proposed. We then described how expected results can be analyzed to show optimality of resulting strategy and how they may be employed by system administrators to better protect their network. Alishin and Adiba in 2019 developed a privacy protection framework for sharing genomic data using game theoretic approach. Sharing genomic data is important for healthcare, but privacy must be protected because links between the identified genomic data and named person can be reestablished by users with malicious intent. The game model is developed to discover the best solution for sharing genomic summary statistics under economically driven recipient interference attack based on scattered gains. Some notable breaches and vulnerability and predictions and about future attack. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. At this junction, let me highlight some major breaches and vulnerabilities around the world and make some predictions about what to expect in the nearest future by the trend analysis. Advances in technology are the main driver of economic growth, but have also led to incidents of cyber attack. The leading trends such as e-commerce, mobile payments, cloud computing, big data and analytics, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and social media all increase cyber risks for users and businesses. The 10 biggest data breaches of all time, with the number of accounts hacked and year occurred according to Quell, are Yahoo, 3 billion in 2013, Marriott, 500 million in 2014 to 18, Adult Friend Finder, 412 million 2016, MySpace, 360 million 2016, Under Armour, 150 million 2018, Equifax, 145 million 2017, eBay, 145 million 2014, Target, 110 million 2013, Heartland Payment System, 100 million 2018, and LinkedIn, 100 million in 2012. Cryptographic currency is the magic phase of commerce, which is leveraged on cryptography. Hence, cryptocrime is a emerging segment of cybercrime ecosystem. One report estimates that acts on cryptocurrency exchanges suffered roughly $1 billion in losses during 2018. The FBI reported that business email compromise, a sophisticated scam targeting both businesses and individuals performing wire transfer payments, has cost more than $12.5 billion in the last 5.5 years. The 5 major attack industries over the past 5 years are healthcare, manufacturing, financial services, government, and transportation. Cybersecurity venture predict that retail, oil and gas energy, utilities, media, entertainment, legal, and education will round up the top 10 industries from 2019 to 2022. Distributed denial service attack represent the dominant threat observed by majority of services providers that can represent up to 25% of country's total internet traffic. While they are occurring globally, the total number of DOS attacks will double to 14.5 million by 2022. Hacking tools and kits for cyber attack, identity theft, malware, ransomware, and other nefarious activities have been available online marketplaces for several years at a price point starting as low as $1, which makes the cost of entry to the life of cybercrime nearly free. Global ransomware damage costs are predicted to hit $20 billion in 2021, $20 billion in 2021, up from $11.5 billion in 2019, $5 billion in 2017, and just $325 million in 2015. Ransomware attack saw 350% increase in 2018, according to one estimate. Cybersecurity Vision predicts that businesses will fall victim of ransomware attack every 11 seconds by 2021, up from 14 seconds in 2019 and 40 seconds in 2016. Global spending on security awareness training for employees, one of the fastest growing categories in the cybersecurity industry, is predicted to reach $10 billion by 2027, up from $1 billion in 2014. Much of this training is centered on combating phishing, scam, and ransom attacks. Cybersecurity venture predicts that cybercrime damages will cost the world $6 trillion annually by 2021, exponentially more than the damage inflicted from natural disasters in a year, and more profitable than the global trade of all major illegal drugs combined. In conclusion, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, there is no such time that the security of individuals, institutions, and nations have been under severe threat like now due to the rising level of sophistication and advancement in information technology, which has the power of neutralizing and demobilizing physical weapons. As most of these modern weapons of warfare are now leveraged on information technology. Equally, there have been no such time that weapons of defense are available as today. Hence, the one with the best strategies has the upper hand, be it the attacker or the defender. Therefore, the security of an individual, institution, or nation has become a game which will never end. as advances in the field of cybersecurity continues. From the foregoing, it has become obvious that security in digital age is a two-person zero-sum game with dynamic strategy held the need for continuous research. Recommendation: Government. Nigeria should strive to have accurate biometric data of our citizens, without which there can be no accurate census, crime profiling, and identification. Without accurate biometric data, good national planning will be a mirage. There should be national information security policy. The National Assembly should work with the cybersecurity professionals and legal professionals to evolve a robust cybercrime law for Nigeria, as it is being done in the developed world, because the current one is deficient in many areas. Since the future of currency is tending towards cryptocurrency, there should be an institute to embark on researches in cryptology so to avoid being caught unaware. It has become imperative to introduce cybersecurity awareness courses in all Nigerian universities and other tertiary institutions, as security has become a major challenge to information technology and, by extension, frontiers of human development. Since the world security has taken holistically new dimension of this between attacker and defender, government must put a place strategy to combat attack on critical infrastructure whenever the need arises. As Nigeria takes a leap into the era of IoT and smart nation, it has to brace up for the attendant security challenges. Government should join hands with the global trend by investing heavily in researches in cybersecurity. Government should invest heavily in cybersecurity training for our military and paramilitary officers, as kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, and terrorism war cannot be adequately won without the knowledge of cybersecurity in the 21st century. Companies, industries and corporations, companies with especially financial and telecommunication industry must always conduct training from time to time on the basics of information and cybersecurity because of the dynamic nation. Companies must pay special attention to how to manage the credentials of their staff, both current and past, as insiders attack are the most potent attack in any establishment. Financial and other critical institutions should employ ethical actors to save themselves of embarrassment. Considering the fact that insiders' threats are the most source of attack, company organizations should endeavor to have well-informed information security policy for their organization. Companies and organizations should ensure that they disable the IT credential of any employee leaving the organization. Companies and organizations should from time to time organize training and awareness programs on information security for both staff and customers. Companies should begin to budget for cybersecurity just like any other issues being budgeted for. Academic institutions. Finding cybercrime, finding insurgency cannot be totally successful without adequate intelligence gathering, which can be successfully done with adequate collaboration between academia and security agencies. There should be more collaboration between industries and academia on researches on cybersecurity. FUTA should leverage on their strength in cybersecurity expertise to create an institute of cybersecurity. Academic institutions must encourage students of cybersecurity to do certification programs in cybersecurity as we enhance their marketability. FUTA should from time to time organize awareness training on information and cybersecurity, leveraging on the staff and other facilities available in the Department of Cybersecurity. Individuals. Parents should encourage their children to take career paths in cybersecurity, as there are over 2 million vacancies in the field today, and it is predicted to rise to 3.5 million by the year 2021. Youths are advised against cybercrime, as the technology they are using to commit the crime are also available to fish them out. Everybody should strive to get awareness training on cybersecurity now that the world is moving toward total digitalization. People should be circumspect about the amount and type of information put on social media, as it is one of the major sources of vulnerability. Finally, Mr. Vice Chancellor, security has assumed the gaming dimension of defenders and attackers played in the cyberspace. The attackers are the cyber criminals, while the defenders are the cybersecurity experts. The object in contention is the access of individuals, nations, and the world at large. Nigeria must of necessity build a set of defenders made up of cybersecurity professionals. Otherwise, she will conceive cheap goals. Acknowledgement. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, God Almighty has been good to me. He has done so much for me that I cannot tell it all. I lost my mother at the age of 1. The prophet prophesied that I was not going to survive. But by his grace, coupled with the faith of my father, who rejected the prophecy, I have not only survived, God has sustained me to succeed. I cannot but be grateful to my late parents, Mr. Morris Ojo Alice and Mrs. Eunice Badro Alice in Ifadamiro, for bringing me to this world and their roles in becoming what I am today. My father did all he could to give me a solid education. He also taught me how to be honest, to speak the truth irrespective of situation and circumstances. Special thanks to my late great-grandparents, Pa Williams Fadamiro, alias Atewo Logoeni, and Madam Felicia Asuyemi Fadamiro, who immediately filled the gap left behind by my late mother after academic. They also made sure I had all I needed while growing up at my infancy stage, with active support of their first son and his wife, Engineer and Mrs. Stephen Okefadamiro, seated here. I want to thank them for their care and love for the entire family and me in particular. We thank you, sir, ma'am. This day, which is very special to me, would not have been a reality if not for the special sacrifice, love, and care and support of my uncle Tom Father and his amiable wife, Professor and Dr. Mrs. Akilabi Fadamiro. They did all they could when it was not even convenient for them to make sure I became what I am today. My responsibility became there. They made sure everything was available to me up to my PhD level and still take me at their baby till today. To other siblings of my mother, most especially Mr. Koshile, I want to say thank you. I want to thank all the Aleshe, Mr. James Alonga, and also Mrs. Josephine Awe, represented the Aleshe, and they are all here. I want to thank you for their support. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the incumbent Vice Chancellor, Professor Joseph A. Fuakwe, a strong believer in my intellectual capacity and ability to speak the truth at all times. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to deliver this 117th inaugural lecture of this great university. I want to thank you, sir. I wish to thank my Agman and former Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Adebiyi Dawara, who appointed me as the substantive dean of students, a very courageous man, who we both went into Lions Den but came out triumphantly. I will not also forget the solid contribution and support of another Agman and former acting Vice Chancellor and the current rector of Ile-Oluji Polytechnic. The two of them are sitting together here. Professor Emmanuel Adedayo Fashakin, who stood by me at difficult times. I will not forget the former Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebisi Balogun, who announced my leadership and also appointed me as the acting dean of students, apart from many other appointments. Sir, I want to thank you. I want to thank Professor Ebi Kolawole, who admitted me as a student, who appointed me as a staff of this university. Professor Peter Olufemi Adeniyi, who appointed me as the assistant director of PG program in the university. Professor Lemo Bade, who admitted me as a student of this university, and all other former vice chancellors who has played one role or the other. I want to equally thank all the current and past deputy vice chancellor, Professor Gushemi, Professor Kutade, Professor Colinius Ademosun. Baba, thank you very much. Late Professor Kolade Ipimoroti, Professor Zedi Adewa, Professor Tula Akibogun, and Professor Olatunde Arayela. I appreciate all the contributions of all the incumbent and former registrars and principal officers of the university. My appreciation will not be complete without mentioning the past and present dean of the School of Sciences. I want to thank you for all the role played in my academic career. To my academic mentor and father, the man who introduced me to the field of cybersecurity, Engineer Professor Samuel Oluwole Falaki. I cannot thank him enough. He supervised my master's and PhD degrees and later guided me to become what I am today. Professor and Mrs. Falaki are very rare to come by in terms of care and love. You cannot visit Mama even as a student, without having something to eat. Even to this day, Mama will have something for you to take back home for your kids. Sir and Ma, I want to thank you. I want to thank Professor Charles Oluwole Akinyoko for the appreciation support he has given to me and his numerous role in bringing the School of Computing and the discipline of computing into reality today. I also recognize the wonderful roles of late Professor Kayode Ogunmoyila, Professor Ari Ademiloye, Professor Koriko, Professor S.T. Oni, Professor Lotu, Professor Lao, and Professor Shoga for their wonderful support. To the fastest growing school on campus, the School of Computing. I wish to thank all my academic and professional colleagues. Special thanks to my brother and the pioneer and incumbent dean of the school, Professor Olumide Sunday Adewale, who has been my supporter and brother. I've learned a lot from him since I joined the services of the university. I recognize the support and togetherness of Professor O. Olabode and Professor Adebayo Adetombi. It has been great working with you. I wish to thank all the head of department of the School of Computing, past and present, most especially my own head of department, Dr. A.F. Thompson, who happens to be my first PhD student. I will not forget all other professional colleagues in the school. Mr. B.S.E. I recognize you. Thank you all. I want to thank all the staff of Student Affairs Division that we work together in my brief stay of 6 years as the Dean of Students. I want to thank Mrs. Balogun and Mr. Nota for helping the management, Ms. Adeyi for doing the editorial work. I thank all the past student union leaders that we work together. And I thank Professor Dr. Fagbero and Professor Gwe Gamidi, former President Dean of Students. The management of First Bank deserves a special mention. They have been great supporter of my career. The First Bank, the sponsor part of the research being presented today. It is also worth noting, as I've mentioned, that some of the researches they sponsor won international awards. Special thanks to Mrs. Tolu Akibogun and Mr. Ismail Omomagwe for their unflinching support. I want to thank all my primary school teachers. Coincidentally, one of them happened to be my uncle, late Chief Emo Alishe and Chief Fabumi. They did all they could to make sure I had a good, solid primary education. To all my teachers in Corpus Christi College and my principals, College of Education in Kere Ekiti, my lecturers, I want to thank you all. I want to thank all my senior colleagues, Professor Wadia, Professor Nibere, Professor Dagwodo. Professor Wadia is the president of Computer Professionalization Council President. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all my ASU comrades and friends. I want to especially mention Professor Enika Oshelu and Professor Okulola. They have always radiated between the two of them. Thank you very much. I want to thank Professor Pakusho for his support while in Ghana. My special appreciation will not complete without mentioning the Catholic Mission for their spiritual and educational support. Special thanks to the very right Reverend Pelis Adakaye, who is present here today, the Catholic Bishop of Ekiti Diocese, Monsignor Edward Ogidan, and all the Reverend Fathers at Ilawe. I want to thank the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Special thanks to Pastor Yadeboye for his spiritual support. I want to thank Pastor Luatus, Pastor Lookere, Pastor Shola Adeyeye, and other men of God that have given me support. Special thanks to Praise Sanctuary that I spent a lot of time with them, most especially the men's fellowship of that church. I want to acknowledge the support of all my in-laws. They include Professor and Mrs. Ogunbameru, Mrs. Kola Akeredolu, Mr. Richard Olubameru, and all other members of Ogunbameru of Ilutitu. They have all been wonderful. I want to thank you all. God bless you. I want to thank my scheduled friend, most especially the Committee of Friends of Ilawe Ekiti, led by Engineer Dr. Olani Yogumiyi, also an alumnus of the university. I want to thank also the 90 to 97 set of footers who are present here, distinguishedly present here. I want to thank you all for your support. I want to thank my own people of Osun-Yemi Nile. They include Mrs. Margaret Awe, Reverend Sister Stella Maris Fadamilo, Ms. Mercy Abilak, Ms. Caroline Adijoko, Ms. Caroline Moba, Engineer Charles Fadamilo, Ms. Yinka Devisi, Tokwe, Toyin. Finally, to the three musketeers, Akinwale, Tolulope, and Tosi. They know how to plan coup against me on the day of my birthday. Thank you all. I also thank Pastor Omoba for our support. They have been very wonderful. I also thank Mr. Bidaku, Mr. Adeshoko, Mr. Yalegan for their support. I also want to thank my special good naturally giddy ladies in the house. Oladupe Shefun and Bukola, thank you all. And to the third generation, represented by Bukola, Abankole, Tami Luka, I thank you all. I will not forget all other Fadamilo dynasty, represented by Mr. Patrick Fadamilo. I cannot but thank the special people that have contributed one way to the other to my growth. They are here. I want to thank Professor Deye, Professor Ogunlade, Chief Ogunlade, Chief Aberewo. I want to thank all of you. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to thank the former directors, associate director of SEGIS and CC. They have been wonderful. Thank you, the Directorate of Corporate Communications and Protocol, led by Mr. Adegberu, and especially also I want to thank Mr. Adeoye for reading the manuscript. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I also want to thank the staff and students of the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa, Ghana, most especially the VC represented, the VC here, the VC who is with me, but is not present, but is with me in the spirit, Professor Jerry Kuma, and the entire staff of University of Mines and Technology, TAQUA. I want to thank all my colleagues in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at UMaT, represented here by Dr. William Aganjiba and Mr. Felix Aye. They are present here all the way from Ghana. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Dr. Sika Akoto, the Registrar, Institute of Journalism, Ghana, for support. She's also present here. Special thanks to the visionary leadership of the Executive Secretary of NUC and his assistant for facilitating the path of cyber security as a cause of study and computing as a discipline in Nigeria. I I also want to thank all my 18 PhD students that I've supervised, the 27 PhD students I've co-supervised, and all other postgraduate students and undergraduate students that have passed through me. I want to thank all my mentees. They are all here, they are numerous. Some of them are not here, but they are watching this program online all over the world. They are numerous, all my mentees, and they are doing very well across the globe. I want to thank all of them as they are listening to me. I can't be mentioning their names. To my wonderful children, who have always challenged me and supported me to work harder. Oluwa Nifemi, Dear Kololuwa, and Oluwa Koretimi, thank you all. You are wonderful blessings of God to me. And finally, to the woman who transformed my imperfection to perfection, just by the touch of her love, who has always crying, Brother Falake Alifi. With a wife like you, I be so blessed. Thank you immensely. God bless you.
Another round of applause, please. We acknowledge the presence of all VIPs who are in this auditorium. If you are in this auditorium, you are a VIP. Give yourself a round of applause, please. With us we have His Grace, the Right Reverend Felix Femi Ajakai, Bishop, Catholic Diocese Ekiti. We also have with us His Grace Monsignor Edward Ogidon, Catholic Diocese. Professor Adebisi Balogun, former Vice Chancellor, FUTA, is present. Professor Adebiyi Deramola, former VC, FUTA. We have with us in the House Professor O.C. Ademosun, former BBC academic, FUTA. Professor Mrs. Mary Odeyemi, former Vice Chancellor, Christland University, is present. Professor Fadamiro, former DBC Development, FUTA. Professor Adedayo Fashaki, Rector, Federal Polytechnic, Ileluji, and former DBC, FUTA. We have in the House Professor Oluwole Falaki and Mrs. Falaki. Professor Falaki is the supervisor of MSc and PhD programs of Aleshe. We have with us Professor Idowu Odeyemi, former Provost, Nigeria Institute of Mining and Geosciences, JOS, in Plateau State. We have Dr. Mrs. Olayinka Ajayi, former Registrar, FUTA. We have Prince Adebule Adeshida, former University Librarian. We have Professor Akin Ogumilade, former Vice Chancellor of the defunct University of Education in Ekiti. Professor Ashubioju, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Engineer Chief Adekunle, former Director of Works. We have Mr. A.W.O. Atoye, former Acting Registrar. Professor Tolu Akibogun, former DVC Development, FUTA. Dr. Oluyede Aturamu, member of the Governing Council. Olori Abimbola Ajibade Alabi, the Olori of Ilawe, Ekiti. High Chief Fatodu, the Odofin of Ilawe, Ekiti. High Chief Benga Agbono, Elemo of Okiemo, Ilawe, Ekiti. Chief Mrs. Akiniyi Iyejumi of Ilawe Ekiti. Chief Mrs. Yemisi Eleyin Afe, the Iyaloja of Ilawe Ekiti. Chief Iyalaje of Ilawe Ekiti. All the people from Ilawe Ekiti, just clap for yourself. Engineer Dr. Ogunbiyi, Ilawe Ekiti. Mr. Adaramodu, Irewolede Estate, Ekiti. Mrs. Caroline Aleshe, Ilawe Ekiti. Mrs. Teresa Ayodele, Ilawe Ekiti. Mrs. Lucia Adefolaju, Ilawe Ekiti. Mrs. Oluwadare Aleshe, Ilawe Ekiti. Mrs. Mercy Abidalazim, Ilawe Ekiti. Pa Stephen Fadamiro, Ilawe Ekiti. Professor Adeyemi, Ilawe Ekiti. Chief John Jegede, Ilawe Ekiti. ACP Abiodun Ashabi, representing Commissioner of Police, Ondo State. AC High, Dr. Mrs. Olasimbo, representing the Controller of Immigration, Ondo State. Surveyor and Pastor Mrs. Kayode Esho, Akure. Honorable Adegoke Olajide, Member of Ekiti State House of Assembly. Mrs. Margaret Faboyo, Special Advisor to the Governor of Ekiti State. Engineer Michael Ajibade, Lagos State. Comrade Olaitan Adeshomoju, President FOTA Alumni Worldwide. Dr. Joshua Tom, Elizabeth University, Ilara Mokin. Dr. Lanre Adesoya, Federal College of Agriculture, Akure. Engineer Dr. Benga Oyedepo. And then from Ghana, we have the following who are in the house. Dr. Felix Aye, University of Mines and Technology, Ghana. Dr. Williams Agangiba, University of Mines and Technology, Ghana. Dr. Sika Akoto, Ghana Institute of Journalism. And of course, we have the class of 95-96 set. Class of 95-96 set. Stand up for recognition. The family members from Ilawe Ekiti, you are recognized. Members of RCCG Akure, please, if you are around, please stand up. RCCG Akure, somebody shout hallelujah. I got them. The members of the School of Computing, if you are around, please stand up for recognition. School of Computing. Wonderful, thank you. And then we have the family members, very close family members. Oluwanifemi Kayode Aleshe, daughter. Díẹ̀ kan lórí Olúwa Káyọ̀dé Alèṣe. Olúwa kórè tìmí Káyọ̀dé Alèṣe. And of course we have the woman of virtue, the only butterfly in the cyber system of Rosa Leje, Mrs. Brother Folakemi Kayode Alèṣe, God bless you.